Hello everyone and welcome to another awesome learning experience with Saoirse, who is awesome. Today we're going to be talking about integers and absolute value. So we're going to start on page 4 in your books, lesson 1.1. Alright, so the first question that we probably have right now is, what exactly is an integer? Well, an integer is any number including 0. So that includes negative numbers, 0, and positive numbers, and on and on and on, and on and on and on. So any number, including 0, is an integer. Okay? Now, what is absolute value? Well, absolute value of an integer is the distance between the number and 0 on a number line. So let's just say you had the question, the absolute value of 1. Okay, so what is the absolute value of 1? This is how I remember, okay? These are the two things that it has to be, okay? First, that's a horrible star. It has to be positive, okay? Second, has to be the opposite. All right? So the opposite of 1 would be negative 1, but it can't be negative 1 because it has to be positive. So it has to be what? 1. That's right. So the absolute value of 1 is 1. All right, let's try another number. So what about the absolute value of negative 3? All right, let's look at our list. So it has to be the opposite. So I know the opposite of negative 3 is 3, and it has to be positive. So it has to be positive 3. The absolute value of negative 3 is positive 3. All right, let's start with example 1. So it's finding the absolute value of 2. You can use a number line if you'd like, but me personally, I like to use the trick that we learned, which is has to be positive and it has to be the opposite. Okay? All right, so what is the opposite of what is the opposite of positive 2? Negative 2, but it has to be positive, so it has to be 2. Okay? Example 2, find the absolute value of negative 3. Right? So it has to be opposite, so that'd be 3, and it has to be positive. So 3. The absolute value of negative 3 is 3. Alright, go ahead and look at these problems, and we're going to try some on your own. So there's the absolute value of negative 1, the absolute value of 14, and the absolute value of negative 5. So go ahead and pause the video, get the answers, and then unpause the video when you're ready. Alright, so you took the time to look over these questions and figure out the answers, alright? So let's check. The absolute value of negative 1 is 1. The absolute value of 14 is 14. And the absolute value of negative 5 is 5. Did you get them right? Great. Alright, now let's talk about comparing values. Alright, so a number line can be used to compare and order integers. Numbers to the left are less than numbers to the right. Numbers to the right are greater than numbers on the left. So if we compare 1 and the absolute value of 4, okay? So let's look at the absolute value of 4 first. Negative 4, my bad, sorry. So the absolute value of negative 4 is 4. So if we have the two numbers now, which are 4 and 1, what is the symbol that we put in to compare them, okay? So we know that 4 is greater than 1 and 1 is less than 4. So what I like to say is the alligator always eats the bigger number. So let's draw our alligator, and it's going to eat. Let's draw a little eye, maybe some teeth. Okay, there's our alligator, okay? And it's always going to eat the biggest number. Alright, so that's comparing values on that one. Alright, let's go ahead and try some on your own. So remember, the alligator always eats the bigger number. So let's look at what we have first. So we have the absolute value of -2 compared to -1, 9 compared to the absolute value of -9, and -2 compared to the absolute value, the absolute value of -2 compared to the absolute value of -2. Alright, go ahead and pause the video, get those answers, and when you're ready, unpause it. Alrighty, so you got the answers, so let's go ahead and check and see if you got them right. Alright, so we know that the absolute value of -2 is 2. Okay? So, let me just change. Alright, so the alligator is going to eat the bigger number. So, is 2 bigger than -1? Yep, you're right. So, the alligator is going to chomp the absolute value of -2 because it is greater. Alright, so now let's do 9 compared to the absolute value of -9. We know that the absolute value of -9 is, that's right, 9. Right? So, if we look at it now, 9 to 9, what is it? It's equal. So I don't really have a metaphor for that one yet, but if you have any ideas, let me know. Alright, so let's do the absolute value of -2, which is 2, to the absolute value of -2, which is 2. So again, we have another equal to each other. Alright. Alright, well, I hope this video was helpful and that you were able to learn from it. Thanks so much for watching. You guys are awesomer than pizza. This was Saoirse again, helping you guys do what you need to do in math. Alright, bye.